Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I am Adam. We are back. This is the preview for the biggest game of the season, of course, the league season. Anyway, Manchester United against Liverpool. Manchester United at home in this fixture, obviously. In the Premier League as well, an opportunity to all but wrap up second spot. The Premier League title is gone now, but that would still signify huge improvements on last season in terms of where we were and how far we were trailing behind Manchester City and Liverpool. Now the tables have turned. We are ahead of Liverpool by some stretch, and beating Liverpool tomorrow could put them with very, very slight hopes remaining in terms of them getting Champions League football next season. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has said it's not important what they're doing in terms of how it affects their campaign. Of course, we always want to win, but we don't care about whether it costs them Champions League football. But we should care, and we should use that as motivation, because if you can make sure Liverpool are in the Champions League next year, you affect how much money they can spend in the transfer window. You affect what kind of players they can attract potentially to the club. Although Liverpool are still a huge name with Jurgen Klopp having won the Premier League and the Champions League recently, I know those things are still relevant and they will still have impact in terms of attracting players. But financially, the impact could be huge. And Manchester United should care about that, because if you affect their transfer window, you affect their budget, you affect the amount of money they're making, you affect their campaign next season when they're playing in the Europa League Thursday, Sunday, you can then potentially a knock-on effect on their league campaign, and it means you've got more of a chance of winning the league title. So we should have it in the back of our minds. We should think about that. We should use that as motivation to beat Liverpool at Old Trafford. Now, ahead of the game, Manchester United fans won't be looking out for the team news. Of course, it will come through an hour before the game, as always. But the focus, the attention will be on Old Trafford, and will be on the forecourt outside Old Trafford ahead of the game, as Manchester United fans are set to protest against the Glazer ownership and protest for the lobbying, really, the government and those in power to implement a 50+1 ownership model in England, or at least a 50+1 voting rights and fan inclusion in the voting rights in terms of the way their clubs are run, in terms of the bigger picture things and super leagues and all those kind of discussions. And Manchester United fans will be protesting at Old Trafford. I will be there too with the Manchester United fans. We'll be down there, protesting as we should against the Glazers, and we should protest for change in ownership. And hopefully this Super League thing can help force change in football for the better in terms of giving more power to the fans. Now, it might not. The protest may fall on deaf ears. They may be all for nothing. But we need to try and use this momentum, come together as Manchester United fans, come together as football fans. You see Arsenal fans protesting against their ownership, Liverpool fans, etc. We need to maintain this momentum. And we hopefully will be doing that outside Old Trafford. There's been reports that there could potentially be 10,000 Manchester United fans there. It'll be like a match day outside Old Trafford on that forecourt. And that would be an incredible show out from Manchester United fans in terms of turning up and protesting against this current ownership, and protesting for change, and protesting for a fan's voice as well. So shout out to all the Manchester United fans. And if you're thinking, should I go, should I not go, just do it. Get down there. Make sure you're social distancing where you can, and you're wearing your masks and all that kind of stuff. But get down there and make your voices heard. So that will be where the attention will lie before the game. But then at 4:30 kickoff time, Manchester United against Liverpool. Those Manchester United fans that are protesting our ownership will then support the team, and we will be rallying those boys on to hopefully get a result. And after a great result in the Europa League against Roma 6-2, a not so great result against Leeds at Ellen Road last week 0-0, hopefully Manchester United can get back on track in the league. 4 out of wins out of the last 5 games. We need to keep that up, and we need to hopefully put one nail in the coffin of the chances of Liverpool's Champions League hopes, which would be nice, wouldn't it? Considering where we were last season, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Big opportunity. But will Ole Gunnar Solskjaer choose to rest players? with that Europa League semi-final coming up. Yes, we're 4 goals up, but we saw Raleigh against Real Sociedad. Was it Granada? I can't remember. Real Sociedad, sorry. We beat them 4-0 at their place. Went to Old Trafford. He still went relatively strong. So will he look to now? Has that changed his thoughts on the team for this game against Liverpool? Maybe we would have seen Cavani rested, Pogba rested ahead of that Roma game. But with us taking such a lead, maybe we can go into that game resting 1 or 2 players and go full strength in this game. I would go with that if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but obviously he will know better. I would look to win this game, keep that momentum going into Rome. You can then choose to rest 1 or 2 players, not go mad. Do you know what I mean? Maybe a Telles for a Luke Shaw, Eric Bailly coming into the defence, Donny van der Beek maybe getting a start. Cavani not starting and Greenwood playing, and then you just look to get through to the next round. You got that 4-goal lead. What's the worst that's gonna happen? Obviously, this could be clipped and all that stuff after Thursday's game, but if you lose 3-0, you're still going through. So I would look to take this one a little bit more seriously in terms of selection if I was Oli. And hopefully that result against Roma may have changed his mind if he was thinking of resting 1 or 2 players. Let's have a look at what Oli was saying ahead of the game as well. Let's head over to the Manchester United website. And we have got Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team news. And Man United boss has been asked about the fitness of his squad ahead of Sunday's Premier League meeting with arch rivals Liverpool. United are second in the Premier League and closing in on securing Champions League qualification for the 21-22 season. It's another quick turnaround before the Merseyside visitors visit to M16 on Sunday. We kick off for our first May fixture set for 4:30 British summer time. But Ali had some positive news on the injury front as we look to clinch the positive result, which will see us finish above the Anfield outfit in the league for the first time in 3 seasons. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer told club media on Friday, "No, it doesn't look like we've got any bad injuries. Obviously, the first morning you're tired, the morning after the game. The second day, you feel if there is any longer effects on your body. I needed a few days towards the end of my career to recover from games like that. That means long-term absentees. Anthony Martial and Phil Jones look to be the only men missing out for United on Sunday, so the boss has plenty of options for the visit of Jurgen Klopp's men. Now, Dean Henderson and Daniel James never played against Roma. Will they come in? Now, I think he's going to play Daniel James in the away leg against Roma. That could possibly be one of those changes where you look to rest Marcus Rashford and maybe bring Daniel James in. But let's talk about Dean Henderson. Because obviously David De Gea started in goal against Roma in the Europa League, and it looks like he's now become our Europa League goalkeeper, which isn't bad considering we potentially got a final on the horizon, and any player wants to play in a final, a European final, get a trophy in the bag, and I'm sure David De Gea will want to do that. But more pressing is the fact that Dean Henderson's starting the league games. So what does that mean for David De Gea? It does look like we're coming to the end of David De Gea's shelf life at Manchester United, which, as I've said before, is a little bit sad. He marks 10 years this summer as a Manchester United player. I think he needs to get a testimonial. I think that would only be right for a player such as David De Gea, who's won every single trophy you can at Manchester United. Now, maybe when he arrived, he expected to win more league titles. Apart from the Champions League, he hasn't won that, obviously. But he's won everything else. The Premier League, Europa League, FA Cup, League Cup. He's got a lot of trophies in the bag. Now, maybe he expected a few more when he turned up with Sir Alex Ferguson. But even after Sir Alex Ferguson left, he's been our best player. How many Player of the Years did he get? He was the world's best keeper for a long time as well. And yes, a fax machine may have kept him away from signing for Real Madrid, but a phenomenal player for Manchester United, a United legend in terms of when you look at the levels that he played at and has played at. And it would be a shame to see him leave. I, for one, hope he doesn't. I think we should go into next season with De Gea and Dean Henderson. Get rid of Sergio Romero, whatever with Lee Grant, the situation with him is a third choice goalkeeper. You need one in case shit happens. I would like to see that because massive fan of Dean Henderson. I think he's got huge potential and will be a great goalkeeper in the future He's a fantastic goalkeeper at the moment, but I would be hesitant to rush to pushing De Gea out of the door, because Dean Henderson next season, first season for Manchester United, if De Gea was to leave as our out and out number one, that brings a new pressure within itself. Because at the moment he's just the understudy. He's coming in looking to impress, and that's probably an easier role to fulfill as a player. When you are then expected to be called upon every single week, and we've seen this season, yes, he's had some great moments, but he's also had some not so great moments where he's made mistakes. And you'd feel next season, without David De Gea, with him being the man playing every week, with what you'd expect to be full stadiums around the country, it'd be a new challenge for him. Do you know what I mean? Yes, obviously he was outstanding for Sheffield United, but they're not Manchester United. Although they beat us at Old Trafford this season, they're not Manchester United. Do you know what I mean? And the scrutiny, will be intense, especially if we're hopefully challenging for a league and that. And that's why I think the experience, the nous, the know-how of David De Gea could prove vital. But it'd be a shame to see him leave if he did leave. But it does look like it's heading that way, because you can't justify having a second choice goalkeeper, I suppose, on 350 grand a week or whatever it is. You can't justify that no matter who you are. And he wouldn't want to be a second choice goalkeeper. So there you go. They're my thoughts on De Gea and Dean Henderson. I expect Dean Henderson will be back in between the sticks for Manchester United against Liverpool. Daniel James, it says in this United article, he was rested for the game against Roma. I don't think he's in our first choice 11. So that's probably looking at putting a positive slant on it. I could see him starting actually against Liverpool for his work ethic, for his ability to maybe peg Trent Alexander-Arnold or Robertson back. But I think we'll see Marcus Rashford start this game, and potentially Pogba as well. And if you do see that, then there's no place in the team for Daniel James. This is my 11 for this game. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. The 6-2 victory over Roma changes things, doesn't it? It means that you can go into this game and look to play a bit of a stronger team, knowing that Cavani doesn't have to play against Roma. He can have a rest. I know he played in the last game, and 2 games in 3-4 days is a lot for him maybe, but he didn't play against. He didn't start against Leeds, and we had a week's rest before that. So we'll be able to manage him. Mason Greenwood didn't start against Roma. You'd expect him to come in, having got a goal. Is in hot form at the minute. Scored a great goal against Liverpool in the cup game at Old Trafford. Marcus Rashford, been talk about him carrying knocks and playing for Manchester United with injury. I think that Roma game will be one where he'll be rested. He'll still want to, achieve certain targets and hit certain amount of goals and score more goals in the Premier League. And this is a game where you start Marcus Rashford. Bruno Fernandes goes without saying. Although in that cup game at Old Trafford, Ollie did start Donny van der Beek. Bruno come off the bench to score the winner. Maybe Ollie does it again, but you can't see Donny van der Beek starting. I think that game against Roma in Rome on Thursday will be one where Ollie's gone to Donny. You're starting that one, mate. And he starts that one. I've gone with a McTominay Pogba midfield, just so I could get Rashford in his natural position and Greenwood in there. Obviously, Solskjaer may go with McFred again. Thought Fred was poor in the first half against Roma, better in the second half. But so much frustrating moments from him. But you usually bring him in for this game for his industriousness, his energy, his enthusiasm, his tackling, etc. But you need quality, and unfortunately it's not there most of the time. And we do need a bit more quality there. I've gone with McTominay Pogba. I imagine we'll see McTominay Fred. Maybe you'll see Rashford, Pogba and Greenwood through the middle, and Cavani will sit this one out. But I want to see Cavani play. I think with the amount of gaps that Liverpool leave at the back, Cavani would have a field day, an absolute field day, be creating so much chances, so much space for himself. So I'd go with that. I've also gone for Maguire and Bailly, although again, that's a personal preference. I think he'll play Lindelof, and we'll see Lindelof in the team for that game. And then maybe Bailly starts in Rome. As I said, Rome is one of those games where, you start Bailly, you're not weakening the team, but you're being able to rotate. You start Telles, okay, Shaw's one of the best left backs about at the minute, but Teller's coming in for that game. You wouldn't worry too much. You know, you're probably going to start Donny van der Beek in that Roma game. You know, you'd expect Greenwood to start. Cavani probably gets a rest there. You're still keeping a strong team, but you're resting a few. So I imagine that will be the game where we rest a few players. Aldi Blaze says Pogba's got to play to the left. Aldi thinks there's no balance to this team. Fair enough, but it's two midfielders, number 10, two players who can play wide and a striker. We've played similar teams before. I've just seen his latest comment and it all makes sense. He says we need to get rid of Rashford. Yeah, you're talking shit. We've got a City fan in there singing Blue Moon, poor fella. Common Sense says Cavani is so mobile for an age. What a player if he stays fit. The signs seemingly good as well. The chap that broke the news initially that Cavani signed for Manchester United has recently, in the last couple of days, spoken about how he's agreed to stay at Manchester United for an extended length of time for another season, which would be great news for us because it'd be great to have Edinson Cavani next season. We talk about closing the gap on Manchester City. If we were to lose potentially Cavani and Pogba in the summer, we're taking steps back. Yes, we've still got to improve the team in other positions, but then you've got to go and replace them as well. And that would be massively frustrating because we wouldn't be in a position to do that, I don't think, not with this board. Jack asks if I'm on the kickoff tomorrow. I'm not on the kickoff tomorrow. I will be at the protests ahead of the Manchester United Liverpool game. I might be on the kickoff because I'll chuck a few clips in and I'll send them a few videos if they want to use them. But I'm not on the kickoff. I thought I can't be sat in a studio when Manchester United fans are protesting against the Glazers and still credibly come out and say, you know, Glazers out, etc. Or we need a change in ownership and not be at the protests. I don't know. I just thought it would be a little bit weird for me, especially with what we do at Stretford Paddock as well. We need to be there to obviously give a voice, but yeah, it didn't feel right me not being at the protest. So yeah, I'll be at the protest and I won't be on the kickoff. The kickoff will be live though for the game. So yeah. You think there's any chance Rashford is rested, says William. You know what? There's possibility, of course. I think we rest him against the Roma game, in the Roma game. You know, every time I expect Marcus Rashford to be rested, he isn't rested. So that's why I've picked him in the team. But there's no time like the present to do it. You could play McTominay, Fred, leave Rashford out, put Pogba there, bring Rashford off the bench if you need to. But against Liverpool, you probably don't leave Marcus Rashford out. And he'll speak with Ollie. And Ollie will probably speak with him and say, look, we'll leave you out of the Roma game, then you start this one. And Akbar says the same. Save Rashi for tomorrow is a big game. Save him against Roma. Roma was winning the first half. Tell us something we don't know. Greenwood to replace Rashford on the right. Says Aldi. Okay. It's all going off in the comments at the minute. Yeah, every time I think Rashford's going to get rested, he doesn't. So that's what I've gone with. I want to see Eric Bailly back in the team, man. Please give me some Eric Bailly action back. Signed his new deal. Let's celebrate with Eric Bailly performance at the game. Come on. Come on, please. Some of the comments blow my mind sometimes. YouTube comments are incredible. They're either amazing or awful. There's no in between. Thank you for tuning in today though, guys. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you're hitting that like button, commenting, sharing, subscribing. Get your super chats in if you can as well. Make sure you're supporting the channel. We've had a few new members recently. Thank you to you guys for joining. Thank you to my old members for joining. I'll try and get some exclusive content out there for you soon. What's Donny got to do to get in? It's difficult, bro. When you got Bruno, look. Every time I think, especially, he's not gonna. It's a difficult situation. I know he should play, but for me, Pogba and Bruno, I love Donny as well. I think he's a quality player. I'd like to see him play more as one of the two instead of McTominay and Fred at times. But it doesn't happen, and he's not going to play in that Pogba or Bruno position because Pogba or Bruno are going to start. So Darren says, let's slap them up proper tomorrow, destroy their top four hopes. 3-1 United win, says David. I am feeling weirdly confident about tomorrow, which is scaring me. Because we know if Liverpool win, the title is confirmed for City, which is horrible. Although, much rather they win at Old Trafford to confirm the title for themselves. But let's beat them. Let's beat them. Let's fuck up their Champions League hopes. Let's take a little bit of a boom, beat Liverpool, moving into next season. A little bit of confidence, a little bit of optimism in the team. Seal that second spot as well. You know, Chelsea winning today against Fulham. It means Fulham are pretty much down. But it means Chelsea are a little bit more comfortable. They got a cushion now in fourth place. Leicester got a tricky running on the last 3 games, but they've got a little bit of a cushion now as well. So we could potentially see Liverpool go from champions to like David Moyes' Man United, 6th, 7th. Best team ever, they said. Anyway, I'm going for a predicted win of 2-0 to Manchester United. I don't know why I'm feeling confident. These games are usually ones where I feel real nervous, sick, horrible, because you don't want to lose them. But I suppose what happens if we lose, you know, bragging rights, obviously, and those are important. But in terms of the league, title's done. It just wouldn't be nice to lose it at home to Liverpool, would it? So let's go and beat them. Make sure they're not in the Champions League. I'm going United 2-0. Get your comments in the comments below. Make sure you like and comment and share and subscribe. And thank you for tuning in to AdamMcKola TV. Subscribe. Let's see if we can hit another milestone soon. Get subscribing, like, comment, share. See you in a bit.